I've had a few new viewers come into my chat recently that just started playing DBD, and they asked for some tips other than the usual do gens or run OP perks. So in this match, I encountered a tunneling skull merchant. I figured this was a great opportunity to walk through my thought process while looping in case it helps someone extend a future chase. So by this point in the match, the skull merchant decided to camp the hook of the Yui because they were held in chase for 2 gens. It is a strat, and it does sometimes work against altruistic teams. Sometimes. So she set up her drones around the hook to notify her when someone comes in for the save. Normally, I'd recommend crouch walking through the drone radius to avoid setting her drones off, but I didn't want my teammate going to second. As you can see, Scully went right for the Yui despite me being injured and just as vulnerable. It was at this point I knew what kind of match this was going to be, so I purposely blocked the door to give the Yui enough distance to hopefully break chase. Okay, she does break off because she knows better. I'm sure by now you know where this is going. So she sticks around my hook, popping up drones to give her insight on who's all around. I do go to second because my teammates understandably don't want to unhook me when it isn't safe, especially given the tunnel earlier. So close to anti-camp. Luckily, they don't have to get me because of the built-in camp meter. That's what she's waiting for. She'll probably go back after me to get the kill. We're just gonna get on another gen if we can. I don't know if she's following me or not. She might be. Sounds like she's right on me. Yeah, she's just following me. That's crazy. I know there was a good chance most of my team got out if she focused on me. I'm not a goated looper, but this is a strong map filled with lots of vaults and pallets if you know where they are. Unfortunately, I run into the injured Yui from earlier, but luckily she only has 1 hook, so the Yui did try to take chase. She might want Booksy now. Nope, she wants me. Now that I know she's more committed to me than all of my exes combined, I'm looking for pallets. I'm injured and don't have much wiggle room to risk taking hits, and this is why it's so important to greed pallets. I execute the slowest 360 of my life. That was a bit risky, but I greeted that pallet a little too hard a second ago, so I had to take the risk. I go ahead and throw the pallet. I was hoping for the stun here to give me a couple extra seconds, but even the animation of her breaking the pallet gives me a few seconds head start. My first thought is finding another safe vault or pallet here. I hadn't looped in the garden yet, so I figured this was a safe area to try next. I have really good teammates that did their best to take chase here. Had I stayed there, one of the survivors could have accidentally sandbagged me while trying to help, so it was best I just leave. Excuse me. Oh. What the heck is going on? Also, guys, I can't stress this enough. Please learn to look behind you while you loop. This game is all about strategy. You can't strategize if you aren't aware of where the killer is. I looped the area long enough for my scratches to overlap and confuse her, so I lost her here for a second. I know she's following me, so I look for any pallet that can continue to help extend chase. But just to clarify, when I say greed pallets, use that to your own discretion. In this scenario, there are only 2 gens left, and the majority of the pallets are still left on this map. I know because she's been on me the majority of the game. Because Scully doesn't have projectiles, it's actually helpful to pre-throw pallets to create a little more distance. I am going to throw pallets. I am going to throw them because it does extend chase a little bit more. She does the right thing and breaks the pallet to get rid of the safe zone. I decided to go through this vault, which was a mistake because I'd forgotten the pallet was broken. But I managed to psych her out around this flesh pile. Back to the vault because this room isn't safe either. I do remember seeing a pallet out in the hall. This is what I consider God pallet because the killer has to break it to get through, which gives me a little more time to get distance. Her drones put me in mended status here because I'm basically just holding shift at this point. You can normally avoid this by walking through her drones or disabling them, but my options are kind of limited here. That scream. Here she does take the hit on Steve, but she's still committed, so I guess we're gonna have to set up the wedding date. She follow? She does. I pre-throw this pallet because, again, she has to break it to get through or she has to go all the way around the other side of the bathroom. That's crazy. I'm back in no pallet zone, so I run to the nearest room I can think of that has a pallet, and luckily, there was one still up. She got momentarily distracted by the Yui here, so I waited it out in a safe zone until she found me again. I like these pallets because you can loop them on both sides while maintaining a clear visual of the killer. Because we're down to 1 gen though, I decided to throw it to get to another safe pallet. I tried to fake her out here, but she wasn't going for it. I don't care for these pallets. Since Scully is an M1 killer, I really need to be able to keep a visual of how close she is to me.
The commitment is insane.
The HUD tells me the last gen is almost complete, so I know if I have any chance of getting out, I need to head toward where one of the gates are. You'll need to learn the maps over time. This is very important, guys. On the Midwich map, the exit gates will always be on either side of the school.
Just make sure to get that last gen done, whatever you do.
I'm watching for her red killer stain here to see which direction she's facing. The last gen popped, which tells me I need to get to an exit gate soon, but I still need to keep her on me until I can see that a teammate's working on the door.
She waited?
And again in here.
I mean, guys, even if I die at this point, I'm only on 2 hooks because I was camped until 2 hooks. So I feel like I still get a W here.
I see someone's almost done with the door, so I just book it there since I'm so close. And luckily, it was the door right next to me. That's crazy. If you enjoyed this, let me know if you'd like to see any other guides on this ever-changing game. I'm live on Twitch Tuesday through Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We play Dead by Daylight and other community games like Repo, Marvel Rivals, Mecha Chameleon, Phasmophobia, and so much more. We'd love to have you. Bye, guys!